It's the weekend, and you know what that means. It's WWND.
Wrestling with Neurodivergence.
You dumb whores. And we're coming to you from the birthplace of Roderick Strong.
Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Woo. I'm Lisa. I have autism.
And I'm Gary, and I have ADHD.
You'll notice that Amanda is absent, and that is only because she is still recovering from last night's Dynamite as well as All In that was this weekend.
Yes. I can't say I blame her. It was a lot.
It was. Let's get into it.
All right. Let me kick this off right. I still have to do my ref duties too, of course.
Oh, yes, you do. First up, since we'll be discussing the 8/28 Dynamite, we have Jon Moxley surprising us all, coming out for a promo, coming out to the ring.
Yeah.
To much heavier music. And that's his music, his entrance music for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Right, yeah.
And we haven't seen him since Forbidden Door, which was 2 months ago. And I noticed, I was telling Amanda, he gets the earring that he has ripped out so many times, I can't believe he even bothers getting it re-pierced.
I know.
But we all loved his olive green pants and his black shirt.
Yeah, he was looking dapper.
Yeah, and he has a freshly shaved head.
I think Amanda even said, like, wow, he looks like more normal or something to that effect.
Yeah. He called out Darby Allin for a quote-unquote conversation. This is not your company anymore.
Right.
And he said that to Tony Schiavone, who was in the ring, with the microphone for him.
Yep.
And it was like, is he talking to Tony Khan through Tony Schiavone? Who's he talking to? What is he trying to imply? It's this whole new level of intrigue, especially after All In, knowing that All Out, their next pay-per-view, is on September 7th.
Yep.
And the crowd started chanting his name. So, yeah, that is my takeaway for that promo. It's the intrigue.
Yeah, my takeaway would be pretty much the same thing. Like, the whole time I was left wondering, where is this going? But at the same time, in a good way, where it's pulling me in. I want to know more. But yeah, definitely more questions than answers.
Yes, which I really like in my wrestling storytelling.
Fair.
And that's what I like to, if it's not action leading off at the beginning, I do want something new, which we got.
Yeah.
And does this mean he's done with Blackpool Combat Club?
Right. That was the thing I was wondering too.
Thirstometer.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
10 out of 10.
All right.
I love me a good Jon Moxley.
I don't blame you. He's a good guy.
Backstage, we go with the conglomeration and Hook and Renee.
Yes.
Amanda really loved Renee's outfit, the black top, the nice flowing leopard print pants.
Yeah.
I liked how Hook was just eating the nacho cheese Doritos and then sharing them with Orange Cassidy as Briscoe was just going off doing his. No, I think he's just the spokesperson for the conglomeration at this point.
Yeah, he's at least the guy who holds the dictionary. That's for sure.
Yes. Willow definitely seems to be part of the conglomeration. Which
I'm loving. I wanted her to be a part of it. So the more they bring her in, they haven't, now correct me if I'm wrong though, they haven't officially said she's in it.
Not that I am aware of, no.
Okay.
But again, as long as you're down to conglomerate and not be a shithead,
right,
you're part of the conglomeration.
Yes.
Briscoe is pumped up. Amanda said he doesn't seem to have a chronic illness that he's showing anyway.
Right.
We got a word of the day.
Yep. All right. Shall we just play the clip?
Yep, play the clip.
All right, here we go, guys.
The word of the day, thank goodness, is indefatigability, and that means the inability to be fatigued.
We didn't know if this was a real word, so we looked it up, and it is.
When I heard it, I honestly am like, what gibberish are you throwing out? But we looked it up, and there's a little bit of debate on pronunciation.
So we went the Shibata route.
Yep, and here's the root of the word, the pronunciation.
Indefatigable.
So indefatigable.
Yes.
So with that pronunciation, it would actually be indefatigability? Or, well, here, listen to this. Tell me what you think.
Indefatigability.
Yeah, so that's what we got. So pronunciation, definitely a little wrong, but hey, I didn't know that word before he said it, so kudos to him.
Right. I didn't know it either. Amanda had said that as a little kid, she would have been obsessed with Willow because adult Amanda is obsessed with Willow.
Yeah.
I can understand why. She's a snazzy dresser. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And she has great ring gear.
One thing that I actually forgot to mention earlier, Lisa, but Willow at one point said she wants to whoop Tushy.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought that was an excellent phrase. How well, don't just come out and say, I'm going to kick their butt, but I want to whoop some Tushy.
And that is in response to her being able to have a Chicago street fight against Chris Statlander.
Which, that's
It's going to
exciting.
be good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, takeaway. Briscoe. That's all I have to say. Mark Briscoe.
Briscoe's like the new king of promos.
He really
And
is.
bringing Willow in on it is just all around. They can't go wrong. The conglomeration has my heart.
Thirstometer.
Yeah.
Solid 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
I mean, you had Hook.
Yeah. Doritos.
Yeah, Doritos. Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
No. Now, if you would feed me the Doritos.
Ooh, a fantasy of Hook feeding you Doritos.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, he did share them with Orange Cassidy.
yes.
Which was very kind.
That brings us to our first match, which was Tomohiro Ishii versus Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah.
The ref was Stefan Smith. So it was the conglomeration's hot one versus my hot one.
Well said.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know how Hanger picked up Ishii so easily because
Oh, no
Ishii
kidding. He's
was
solid.
He's a solid man.
He's like a brick.
He is. We got our first CTE alert when Ishii landed on his head on the apron, and we're pretty sure that was supposed to happen because of everybody's reactions.
It looked messed up, though.
It
like,
did.
if I didn't know any better, I would have been like, oh my God, this guy needs a stretcher.
I know. It was. I'm only laughing because I'm thinking about it in the way we reacted.
Right.
Of
No, he sold it well.
He did.
It was awesome.
We had CTE alert number 2 when Hangman was sitting on top of the turnbuckle and Ishii jumped up and rammed him with his head. And he looked like Ram Man from He-Man to me.
Totally. And you know, the whole like no neck thing too. I mean, Ram Man really doesn't have a neck.
Exactly. Ishii jumped up and kicked Hanger, and Ishii rarely jumps up and kicks people.
Yeah.
He's more of a ground-based,
Well, he's got all that solid brickness to him. It takes a lot of energy to get that brick up in the
low
air.
center of gravity.
True.
Amanda would like it if Ishii had fringes on his spandex.
Oh, okay.
She just is such a big fan of the fringe.
You know, that's true.
And to have Hanger already out there in his black chap-looking trunks.
Yeah.
With the fringe and the flames.
Sure. Well, that would be nice. I want that for Amanda, too. Like, it wouldn't really do anything for me personally, but making Amanda's day would make my day.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
CTE alert number 3. We have Ishii using his head to headbutt Hanger.
Yep.
Amanda and I noticed that they both have very well-groomed facial hair.
Yeah, good for them.
It's very nice. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hanger won.
Yes, he did.
Then Swerve comes out.
Yep.
And Nana was dancing but looking very angry.
Yeah. You and Amanda had something that you said about it.
Stank eye.
Stank eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would agree. They definitely had the stank eyes.
But they looked dapper.
They were shooting daggers with their eyes.
Shooting daggers, but looking dapper as heck.
Yeah.
Nana had on a blue and silver shirt. It's so hard to describe because it was so intricate in design and looked so nice.
Yeah.
And Swerve's fur jacket was like a silverish color, and his pants were black and silver, and he had the purple smoky eye. And their promo was so intense against each other.
Yeah, there was some real like face-to-face aggression.
Which, thank goodness, Swerve chews gum, and Hanger, we know, was chewing gum because we saw it during the match.
Yep.
At one point, Hanger told Swerve he wanted him on his knees.
Well, let's play a little clip for the audience so they know what we're referring to.
And I want you on your knees, okay?
Very well delivered line.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
You know, I did also have a note here that at one point, Hangman did call Swerve a piece of shit, too.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And Amanda had said, that's what we teach our kids not to say
Yes, yeah.
in a fight, in a verbal altercation.
Yeah.
Amanda thinks that Swerve has cute ears, tiny, dainty earlobes.
Yeah.
She wants him to know that.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out to you, Swerve.
Yeah.
Please listen to this, first of all. And second of all, hey, Amanda likes your ears. That's high praise from her.
Yeah. A steel cage match
Yes.
is going to happen between the two. And I am so excited for this.
Me too.
Because I love them both so much. I love their matches. I love the rivalry.
I don't even think Woodman's could stock enough Diet Coke.
No, they couldn't.
No.
They really couldn't.
We'll call them ahead of time, though. and
You
let 'em
should.
know.
You
Yep.
really should. And call the Diet Coke distributor in the local area.
Of course.
Just have them have a truck
Yeah, truck
Pull
at
up.
the ready. Yep.
Pull up at your house.
We'll have you sitting in a swimming pool just in case.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Hanger just dropped his mic and walked off after this challenge was laid down because he has a lot to think about.
Yeah, it threw me a little bit though. It was just an odd. I don't say it threw me because I was expecting something a little more climactic, but instead it was he had to think about it, which that's an okay way to end it.
Yeah.
It just threw me. I wasn't expecting
Swerve
that.
did say you have basically burned your career to the ground because
Yeah.
you're so obsessed with me.
Yeah.
And what I have done to you, you need to rebuild everything and think about what kind of man you want to show your kids you can be this match. That's personal.
Oh yes, that is deep psychological warfare right there.
It is, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Do you have any referee notes, good sir?
Well, I thought Stefan did a great job. There wasn't anything that really stood out, but at the same time, there weren't any negatives that stood out. Certainly, he was keeping an eye on the guys when they were on the ground because there was a lot of that are out of the ring stuff, and he was counting to get them back in. So he did a fine job.
I agree. Takeaways. I am looking forward to the steel cage match.
Yeah,
I thought the Ishii Hanger match was great. And I liked how it gave Swerve an opportunity to come out and set up this match.
Right. Yeah, my takeaway would be that the match was awesome, but it's also tough because the built-in promo at the end was so big it kind of overshadowed it a bit.
Yeah, that is true. Thirstometer.
Yes.
We're at a 12 out of 10.
Whoa!
You had Swerve and a smoky purple eye and Hangman at...
And some Ishii.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. 12 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think that's a podcast first.
I think it is.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. You mark it down. This is the first time we broke 12 on the thirstometer. And this cage match.
Watch out.
Who knows?
Watch
Who
out.
knows? Yep.
And that wraps up that match.
Yes. So let's close it out. All right.
Our next match is Jamie Hayter versus Harley Cameron. Referee is Paul Turner. Jamie was out for 15 months.
Yeah. Long time.
Amanda loves Jamie's gear. She hates Harley's thumb stuff where she bites her thumb or puts her thumb on her tongue.
She does it a lot.
Yes. And we started counting when Harley came out and we stopped counting at 4 because Harley wasn't even at the ring yet.
Right. And we're just getting sick of it.
Yeah. We were like...
So, audience, maybe next time we'll have a better count for you, but at the same time, it's tough to watch.
Kind of grossed out, yeah. It's a germ thing.
Yeah. So Harley, just your hands touch everything. Don't put them in your mouth. Don't do it.
No, I did like Harley's sparkly gear though. Her black sparkly gear. I'd rather wear that gear than Soraya's gear because Soraya's gear last time, her butt cheeks were coming out through her ripped fishnets, and that would be a sensory nightmare for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. It's a nice outfit. It's even though she wasn't my favorite in the fight. I mean, I have my favorites. I'm not going to deny it.
Everybody does.
Right. But still, you got to give credit where credit's due, and the outfit was on point.
I personally like muted colors on myself, so I couldn't do Jamie Hayter's gear. I mean, let's be honest, I couldn't do Jamie Hayter's gear in real life.
Right.
But I do like it.
Right. And I loved it. I had a comment that it was it reminded me of a Cyndi Lauper-esque thing, which it really matches her hair too.
Yes.
But I dig it because I'm a huge Cyndi Lauper fan, and the outfit did it for me.
Yeah. Amanda said it had flowers and it's so pretty. She liked it because of that. She noticed the nice detail that Jamie has her name on her boots and that there's ruffles on the butt of her gear. We do have our 4th CTE alert because Harley headbutted Jamie. And, okay, being non-binary, this is just a me thing, but Soraya's boobs are just busting out of her shirt.
Yeah.
And it was kind of distracting. Being non-binary, I'm not a big fan of my own boobs, so I couldn't see having that going on.
Sure.
But you know what? If that's her thing...
If that's her thing, that's her thing.
You do you.
And, from the guy perspective, I mean, of course, it's oh, boobs. But at the same time, it's
Yeah, and from the queer perspective, again, boobs. I'm not personally a fan of her, so I can't be like, oh, boobs, but...
But yeah, what we're saying is you do you, but at the same time, let's also not distract from the wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ref notes.
Yeah, I put that it was just a good, quick match. So
it
was pretty simple for Paul, but he did a good job.
They both looked great.
Yeah. And if I remember right, he was right in there on the counts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked Jamie still kissing her bicep, and when the match was over, she brushed off. Like she did the brushing off motion.
That was a slick move.
Thirstometer.
Yes.
I'm going to say 7 out of 10.
Ooh.
Harley is very pretty.
Yep.
Jamie's very pretty. I think they're both attractive women.
Did Saraya take away a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I will say that.
That's fair.
And that wraps up that match.
All right. So. Okay.
We go backstage now with the Learning Tree and Roddy.
Yeah.
With Renee. Again, Amanda loves Renee's outfit. Chris Jericho got new trunks, which we will expand on later.
Yup.
Roddy has his glasses on.
Yep.
And he doesn't look too thrilled at the beginning of the promo.
No, he's...
That was the impression I got from his facial expression. But again, I have autism and am not great at reading social cues.
Hey, I was getting the same vibe.
He did have a chance to scream, Chris.
Yes.
And I love that part of his persona. Chris Jericho did mention that Orange Cassidy owes him $7,000 for ruining a jacket 3 years ago.
Right. And it left me wondering what the heck kind of jacket would be worth $7,000. And also, it's like, it was funny.
Yes,
I mean, it was a great storyline,
was.
but it just also was like, man, this guy's holding a grudge.
One of my main takeaways was overall, I thought Roddy saved the segment.
Yeah, I think I had said before that the Learning Tree thing is starting to wear a little thin. But, you know, they did an okay promo, but bringing in Roderick Strong, it deepened it and made it better.
Thirstometer.
Yes.
8 out of 10, Roddy.
Okay. I just had to confirm it was still Diet Coke, so we didn't cross into
Diet
Pepsis.
Cokes, and it's all Roddy.
Yeah.
Now, if we're going to take Roddy out of that equation, then we're hitting Diet Pepsi territory.
Oh. Gotta step it up, Learning Tree. You're in the Pepsis.
I think they're going to stay in the Pepsis.
Probably.
Then all of a sudden, we see MJF come out to the ring.
Yeah.
I was not expecting him.
No. Neither was I.
He is back to classy dressing.
Yep.
By that, we mean he was wearing a nice gray suit with the small details of thin white pinstripes close together.
Right.
Which Amanda said was subtle and classy.
Yeah. It's no more like Uncle Sam exploded
Threw
on
up
him.
on him. Yeah. Black and charcoal patterned scarf.
Yep.
He did have the Kinesio tape all over his neck from the Tiger Driver 91.
Yeah, that was a good addition.
That he sustained at All In. Amanda loves his shoes. Since he did say since no one had his back while he was defending the country and company, he's renouncing his citizenship except for Plainview, Long Island, New York.
Right.
And he's also denouncing all the fans.
Yeah. It's a good heel move.
It really is.
Yeah.
Daniel Garcia came out then and attacked him. And I loved the black jeans, a black tank top that Daniel was wearing. I liked that his pants fit. By that, I mean he was wearing a belt. The waistband of his underwear were not peeking out the top, meaning his belt was working. Because if you're going to wear a belt, I'm all about function.
Right. Yep. I'm with you.
And security broke up that attack.
Yeah, there was a bunch of security that came rushing out, right?
Yes. And Daniel got a microphone and said he pawned the Dynamite diamond ring off in Buffalo, New York to go to All In and ruin the most important moment in MJF's career.
Right.
It was a very intense promo. He did say when he said that at All Out it was going to be him against MJF, it was going to be him verse.
Yeah.
And to me, my ear, I don't like it when athletes say it's them verse.
Yeah, we want verses,
yes.
right? Yep.
I don't know which is the appropriate.
Yeah, we're going to have to follow up and look that up and see what is like the correct English of it.
Yeah. He chucked the mic at MJF.
Yes.
I did. Wow. That
was a good throw.
That was a passionate throw.
Yeah.
That was a passionate promo and a passionate throw.
Yeah.
Takeaway.
I was left wondering, is Garcia retiring his little dance?
Oh, yeah.
And I kept waiting for it, and it never came. And maybe he's mixing it up. Maybe he's rebranding, reinventing himself, in which case, good for him.
Maybe he is in his unhinged thirst for revenge era.
That's true. And maybe that just doesn't deserve a dance. I don't know. Anyway, great promo.
Yes.
My takeaway was a great promo, but I was waiting for the dance, and it never came.
Kind of like when the scissoring never came last time.
Right.
A little bit disappointed, but...
I am a sucker for every time it's Scissor Me Daddy Ass. It just gets me.
Yeah. Thirstometer.
Yeah?
8 out of 10.
All right.
Daniel Garcia, attractive man. MJF, attractive. Although getting stuck in your shirt kind of took away when you were taking off your shirt and you kind of got stuck in it. It was comical.
The comical goofiness
Yes.
of it adds for me, but
Yes.
yeah, I get it. It would definitely take away from the thirst. I can see that.
And he did renounce us, so.
Right. We are renounced.
Yep. Next up, we have the 8-man tag match
Yeah.
with Chris Jericho, Big Bill, Brian Keith and Roddy versus Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Hook. Referee, Aubrey Edwards.
Yes.
Hook was wearing black and blue shorts, and he has great hair volume. Love his shorts.
Yeah. He does have nice hair.
Aubrey had sassy eyeshadow, Amanda pointed out, and high ponytail.
Yes, a beautiful high pone.
Chris Jericho, again, we pointed out the new trunks. We noticed that during the promo because of the font.
Yeah.
Because Amanda said, does he have new trunks? Look at the font on his crotch. And I was like, I don't want to look.
Right.
But we all looked.
Well, yeah, sometimes you have to take one for the team. Just to put it out there, nobody wants to look at Jericho's crotch.
Right. On the back of his trunks, instead of looking like a squid, you guys succinctly put it looks like a squid shirt.
Yeah. Almost picture it as though, for some reason, Jericho was trying to shove a squid up his ass and then let a shark in the middle and just blotted it out.
And if you
I don't know how else to
want to,
describe
if
it.
you don't want to picture that, think about seeing a very curly perm.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
silhouette of one,
Yeah.
and they just put that on the back of his trunks.
Right. So
the tree has evolved.
yeah, it's weird. And we know it's supposed to be a tree, but when you look at it, that's not what jumps out.
It's like the tree of life has evolved. It's literally the tree of life at this point.
Yeah, well, it's a tree of something I don't want to go near.
I like Mark Briscoe's shorts. They're loose and green and black, very muted colors. And they look like they'd be comfortable to wear. And for me, that's all about what I go for everyday apparel.
Yeah.
The conglomeration and Hook won.
Yep.
But that Roddy had his foot on the rope, but he tapped.
Right, and I can dive into that a little bit when I jump into the ref notes too.
And so Undisputed Era came out to beat up Hook. So there is a new feud brewing. And Roddy is going after the FTW belt.
Yeah.
So your ref notes, sir.
Yeah, well, definitely. So I thought Aubrey did a phenomenal job. She was always like keeping up with Big Bill during those chops right in there, and she's just keeping an eye on them, selling the whole thing. To me, all of the motions of it add to it. So like with her being just as passionate about it and not just like she's phoning it in, that sells it all for me. There was a spot where she gave Bad Apple hell for being a shithead. And if everything would have gone the way it did and she didn't do the missing of the foot, I think she would have been ref of the night. But she's probably going to be kicked out just because even though it added to the storyline, she did miss that foot on the line. And then I was even asking you, does it matter if your foot's on if you're still the one who taps out? But
yes.
It does. Okay.
Because his foot was on the bottom rope before he tapped, and she should have seen that.
Okay. Because he shouldn't have had to have tapped at all.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Takeaway, I am super looking forward to Roddy going after the FTW belt.
100% agree.
Thirstometer.
Yeah.
That's a 9 out of 10.
All right.
You got Hook and Roddy in the same ring.
Yeah. Definitely. Great match, though.
Oh, yeah, it really was.
Very action-packed, very entertaining all the way through.
Next, we go backstage to Mercedes Monet's celebration for her win.
She was having a private party, if you will.
Oh! Private party was there.
Because you can't have a private party without private party. They made it very clear that those are the rules.
Yes. Camille was looking great. She looked spectacular.
Yeah.
Isaiah shot his shot with her and failed. Okada came up and was basically like, get lost, dude.
Camille did no part of it either.
No, she
was
didn't.
Like,
They were both like, not happening. Once Okada was out there, Mercedes asked him, how do you say bye, bitch, in Japanese?
Right.
Okada whispered to her. And then she said, sayonara, bitch.
Yeah.
So we have our bitch count.
Yes.
Which is at 2.
Right. But
There's an implied 3rd.
Right. So I had mentioned this to Lisa before. I've said, well, in theory, he would have whispered in Monet's ear to say the word bitch. So it would have been 3, but we only heard 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then they all start doing the CEO dance. And Okada did it as well.
Yeah. And what was it that he was like saying during it?
Dream comes...
Yeah, he was saying like, oh, it's my dream come true.
Right. Takeaway. A segment with Okada is wonderful.
Okada's growing on me more and more. I mean, I never disliked him, but he's like moving up and up on my yes, they're good, entertaining wrestlers scale. I don't know how I have it.
It's a good scale. It's a good...
We'll just call it the good scale. He's going up and up on my good scale. Yeah.
Thermometer.
Yeah.
8.5 out of 10.
All right.
You've got Camille and Okada.
I was going to say it was probably Camille that really sold it. Plus, that outfit was... It wasn't too revealing.
It wasn't too revealing, but it just
like,
left just enough to the
like
imagination. It was very nice. Mariah May's AEW Championship celebration is next.
Yeah.
They could have skipped over this whole thing for all I care. Sorry. She's a very beautiful woman, but I'm still waiting for her to show me her it factor.
Right.
She's postponing her celebration. She wasn't going to have it in that town, which is Champaign, Illinois. She says they desperately need some glamour. She did take her robe off to show that she was wearing black lingerie. She had her chest covered more than Saraya had her chest covered, so I guess, okay, whatever.
That's something.
But she was just, wearing black lingerie. Okay. Mm-hmm. As far as the queer and male gaze is concerned, I can see where it's appealing, but because I am not sold on her, it really didn't do anything for me.
Oh, I can see that.
So I guess...
I'm right there with you, to be honest.
I guess that's my takeaway.
Yeah. My takeaway would be identical, and the thing I would throw in is everyone quit like crapping on Shivani.
Yeah.
Everybody be nicer to Shivani. He's a good guy. But whatever.
Yeah. Thermometer.
Yes.
I'm going to say 4 out of 10.
Okay.
She's a beautiful woman. But just not my kind of beautiful, I guess.
Yep. And, she was playing it where she was like talking down to everyone. And
yeah,
to me,
she really was.
That takes that takes it down. Mm-hmm. It's like you come out and you just like crap on the whole town that you're in. I get it. And as a heel, that's the thing.
Really crapping on the women of the town.
Yeah.
And I'm not for that at all.
No. So I think you got a good Diet Coke thirstometer on that one. Yeah, you bet.
Next we had the Grizzled Young Veterans, and they were talking. The Young Bucks came up. Mm-hmm. Grizzled Young Veterans said they're here to stay in AEW and coming for those tag titles.
Yeah.
Then they announced they'll have then they're like, you better grit your teeth. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they go from one area where it's like they walk away from Matthew and Nicholas.
Right.
And Young Bucks are like, okay, way to make a good first impression. And then it's GYV are inside and they're talking to the camera again.
Right. It was almost like a sandwich of two promos.
Right. And they announced they'll have a match on Rampage. Mm-hmm. And they say, whoever they're going to be against, you better grit your teeth.
Right.
And my takeaway is, I like the Outrunners, who they're against on Rampage. I want them to win.
Yeah.
But I am happy that Grizzled Young Veterans are in AEW.
Right. And so they're pretty new to me. But do you want to elaborate on, because you filled me in on some of the background. I thought it was pretty cool.
Back when NXT, with WWE, they have NXT, and then they used to have NXT UK. And Grizzled Young Vets I saw in NXT UK on TV. Mm-hmm. And then they shut down, they got rid of NXT UK. Grizzled Young Vets were wrestling in NXT. Mm-hmm. And I liked what I saw there, but they were under different names.
Oh, okay.
And then, I don't know if they ever made it up on main roster. I can't really recall at this moment. But then, they were released, and I remember thinking, I hope that they sign with AEW, because they'd make a great addition to the tag team division. Mm-hmm. And ta-da, here they are.
There we go.
So, yeah.
You called it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So far, from what I've seen, I like them.
They are really good. Mm-hmm. Thermometer.
Oh.
4 out of 10.
Oh.
I mean,
Okay. You're not down with gritting teeth?
I'm not down with the gritting teeth. Now we're on to our main event match.
Yes.
Which was Ricochet versus Kyle Fletcher.
Yes.
Our referee is Bryce Remsburg.
Mm-hmm.
Ricochet was wearing gold and black, the AEW colors.
Yeah.
The same gear he had on at All In. His trunks look roomy and loose, so I would actually try them, but I'm not sure the material would work for me as far as the texture.
Fair. I get that.
Kyle's red tights looked velvety to me, the way the red hit the lights.
Are you down with the velvet a little bit more?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it'd be softer.
You mean, okay, just for my clarification, you mean
texture-wise.
Texture for you wearing
Yes.
it. Okay.
But I'm a fan of both.
But next question, visually, from you seeing it on him, it does it for you, or
Yes.
Okay, cool. So it's got both factors. I like it.
Amanda likes that Ricochet was wearing football gloves, what looked like football gloves.
Yeah.
Because that looks like they're thinking outside the box and not needing to have special gear made.
Yeah.
And I think that's good for everybody. And Amanda loves that the refs put their whole body into their counts.
Yeah, I definitely. It was so good. Amanda was even picking up on it, even though I'm supposed to be the one looking for the. No, everyone can make comments on it. I mean, it's fair game all over. But yeah, Bryce was on point. He was all up in there. He was just instantly there for the counts. He was selling it and doing the role justice.
Yes, Ricochet won. Ospreay came out. He was wearing shorts, Adidas shorts, socks, and shoes, blue t-shirt. And just as he's about to speak, because he and Ricochet go back, Pac came out and attacked Ospreay.
Oh, the bastard.
Yes, and he tells Ospreay not to forget about the bastard.
Right.
He welcomed Ricochet to AEW and tells him to get to the back of the line because Ospreay belongs to him, teasing the match that Ospreay and Pac have it all out.
And I know that they know how to land, but that move,
that Poison Rana,
on that hard of floor.
If any two
scares
wrestlers can make it look that good, it's Pac and Ospreay.
They did a good job, but that still just worries me. I don't want anybody to really
I
get
watched
hurt.
a GIF of it again, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, good job, guys.
I am looking forward to all the new feuds that Ricochet will get to be in now that he's in AEW.
Indeed.
Thirstometer.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, let's see. I'm going to say 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I think Kyle Fletcher is very attractive as well.
Now, Fletcher, he's also got like pretty good abs. I mean, he's no...
And then you added Ospreay at the end and Pac. And I was like, oh.
Pac has got like the best pectorals. That dude, I don't know how he does it.
And that wraps up that match.
And that wraps it up. So there we go.
Then all of a sudden we're backstage again.
Yeah.
And there's Mox.
Yes.
Talking at us, talking about how he's got to introduce some humility. And we're like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
And then Marina Shafir, Roddy's wife, appears. And she beats down somebody. And it's like,
a lot of random like picking on dudes in the hallway.
Yeah. And then they're like, you want some? And the guy's like, no, thank you. Takeaway. Is Mox wanting Darby to join with them?
I don't know. Just like the first one, I was left with more questions than I was answers. My takeaway is a big, what? Where's this going? In a good way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thirstometer.
Yeah?
10 out of 10.
All right.
You got Mox and Marina?
That was the first time I've seen Marina. That was my first introduction to her. So.
I've seen her before.
Well,
she's
you've been in
very pretty.
Yep.
She's beautiful.
Oh, and she married an Eau Claire boy.
Yes.
So. Which, again, to the listeners, we're not 100% sure. We're going off of what we read in a Wikipedia article. So if we're wrong...
Which we know the internet never lies.
Right. But as long as it's on Wikipedia, we're going to say Roddy's from Eau Claire.
Well, it says it's his birthplace.
Yeah.
And then we close out AEW Dynamite with Bryan Danielson coming out to address his future. He's wearing jeans and a black t-shirt, which is something I'd be comfortable wearing. It's something I do wear.
It's a very stylish outfit, and those like sneakers he had with it, it's just it's an awesome casual outfit.
It's the first title he's held in
Yes.
AEW. We all love, especially Amanda, that they show emotions because Bryan got choked up and they zoomed in on it. There was no shame. He wasn't trying to hide it.
Yes.
His contract expired August 1st, and he said that he needs neck surgery sooner rather than later, and his family's ready for him to come home. But he's not retiring as AEW champion. When he loses that title, he'll retire from full-time wrestling.
Right.
So, at All Out, it's first come, first serve for a title shot.
Yep.
And so on the Jumbotron, Titantron screen, Jack Perry shows up talking and said that he had to create his own future because no one wanted him back in All Elite Wrestling. And his future is to retire the American Dragon, which is Bryan's nickname.
Right.
And he said Bryan's future waits behind him. Jack was behind Bryan to attack him.
Yes.
And the match is set for All Out.
Yeah.
So that's my takeaways. I'm looking forward to that match, but I don't know if Jack Perry is ready to be AEW champion yet. Although it would be really sweet and funny for him to be crowned.
It would be.
in Chicago, which is CM Punk's.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought of, where I was like, there's two angles to this.
Wow, that's deep. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
And I'm petty, so.
Yeah, my takeaway would be I want Brian to hold it longer. For
Same.
selfish, I want
Yes.
Brian to win reasons. Mm-hmm. And also the idea of him pseudo-retiring or going part-time is sad, but at the same time, I get it. So, yeah, however it plays out, I'm sure it's going to be something he wants.
Yes.
So it'll be good. But I'll be honest, I was scared that he was coming out to say he was retiring.
I think a lot of people, I think all of us were really.
Yeah. So, no, to hear him say, I'm going to fight. And that got me reinvigorated. And I thought it was a cool little promo.
Their someter.
Yeah.
8 out of 10.
Okay.
Both attractive men. Bitch count.
Yes.
We're at 2 with a third implied.
With a third implied. Indeed.
Thanks to the Mercedes Moné celebration. CTE count is at 4.
Yes.
3 being the Ishii versus Hangman match, and 1 in the Jamie Hayter versus Harley Cameron match.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestler of the night, who do you have?
Well, for Wrestler of the Night, gosh, I think I was going to have someone else, but I'm going to actually just switch it up to Danielson. And it's because I think it takes a much stronger person to show emotion than to come out and just play the role of I'm a super strong guy and I don't cry. Mm-hmm. So that spoke to me. So he's Wrestler of the Night for me. And to relate that to neurodivergence, it's just in general, when you're proud enough to show your emotion, I think we should all applaud that. Mm-hmm. And it's not specific to neurodivergence, but it fits the realm of mental health and good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, for me, it is going to be Jon Moxley.
Nice. Let's hear why.
So, Mox just does his own thing. It's like he is always unmasked.
Yeah.
At least in the ring.
Yep.
And I would like to think that he's just unmasked all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that he's neurodivergent
Right.
by using that terminology. But to me, it appears as though he's just able to be his true authentic self.
I can see that. Yeah.
For me, I cannot do that
Right.
yet. And I'm saying that optimistically.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he's my Wrestler of the Night. I hope to get to that point someday where it doesn't matter where I am or who I'm with.
Mm-hmm.
I can just be that confident and just
I can see that.
do my own thing.
That's nice. I like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do we-
Referee of the night.
Yeah, I think we kind of already hinted pretty strongly at it, but the ref of the night would be Bryce. And it would have been Aubrey, except she missed the foot.
Yeah.
So Bryce takes it. So way to go, Bryce Remsburg.
And then we have your neurodivergent fun fact.
Ooh, I'm excited. What do we
Sensory seeking versus sensory avoidance.
got? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Amanda had brought this up, but please elaborate on this.
All right. Sensory seeking refers to behavior where people actively seek out, people meaning neurodivergent people, seek out sensory experiences to fulfill their sensory needs. Mm-hmm. They often crave sensory input and may engage in activities that provide intense sensations or stimuli. Mm-hmm. Common examples of behaviors of that include seeking out loud noises, tactile stimulation, or engaging in repetitive movements. It manifests differently in everybody. Mm-hmm. And some individuals may seek out specific types of sensory input, such as seeking deep pressure or seeking vestibular stimulation. Mm-hmm. Others may have broader range of sensory seeking behaviors, encompassing multiple sensory modalities.
Yeah.
And then there's sensory avoiding. That refers to people who actively avoid or withdraw from sensory stimuli that they find overwhelming or uncomfortable. They may be more sensitive to certain sensory inputs and may experience distress or discomfort in response to them. Mm-hmm. Common examples of sensory avoiding behaviors include covering your ears in response to loud noises, avoiding certain textures or fabrics, or becoming anxious in crowded places.
Oh, yeah. Or my cricket sound effects in Lisa.
Yes. Like sensory seeking, sensory avoiding behavior can vary from person to person. Mm-hmm. Some individuals may have sensitivities to specific sensory inputs, while others may have broader sensitivities across multiple sensory modalities.
Right.
And They're often described as separate behaviors, but they can coexist within individuals.
Sure.
So it's like a tug of war.
Oh, yeah. Good way of putting it. But do you want to like elaborate on why we picked that?
We picked that because when Ishii landed on his head during the hangman match, Amanda had said, well, maybe he's a sensory seeker. And I had said, well, what is that?
Right.
And so then she started saying, well, some people are sensory seekers, some are sensory avoiders. And I had said, well, wrestlers must be sensory seekers. And she had said, well, yeah, I suppose they probably are.
Right.
And I was like, well, I definitely would not be. I'm definitely a sensory avoider. And she had basically said, sensory seeking and sensory avoidance, it's basically giving your body what it needs to regulate.
Yep.
And Amanda and I could not be wrestlers.
No.
I could not deal with the lights, the crowds, the touching, the gear.
Right.
Because baggy gear is not really something you see in wrestling.
No. No, in all fairness, when you have a physique that nice, you kind of want to show everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, they're premier athletes.
Well,
they
even
work
if I
hard.
did have a physique that nice, I would still probably wear baggy clothes.
That's a fair point.
You know?
That's a very fair point.
Because I am
Thank you.
definitely about the textures and the fabrics.
Right, because
and-
it's not a shame thing. It's just a personal comfort.
Right.
I get it.
And the one thing that would intrigue me about being a wrestler would be the risky behaviors, the acrobatic, I would be doing the dumb stunts
Right.
for the adrenaline rush.
You'd be Darby.
Yeah, kind of. But the character, being
Yeah.
a different character.
Yeah. Yep. No, I get that. Let me add a personal thing too, if it's all right.
Of course.
So with the sensory seeking, like I never really thought about it when I was younger, but growing up, anytime I was doing homework or anything, my parents would always be like, no, you need to go in the kitchen and it needs to be quiet. And it's like, I quickly learned no. And even to this day, and luckily my places I've worked have been accepting of this, but I need to listen to aggressive music while I'm focusing on something. So really fast punk music, really chaotic EDM, or like dubstep, where to some people they're like, this just sounds like, I'm like, I know, but it mellows me out because it's moving at the same pace as my brain. So I totally get it.
And I'm the exact opposite when it comes to needing to focus. I need quiet.
I just encourage everyone to find what works for you and then embrace it and educate those around you so they'll also embrace it. And because I remember all those teachers being like, no, it's distracting. It's like, no, it actually helped me focus. It really did.
And don't be afraid to ask for accommodations.
Yeah, totally.
And with that, we thank you for joining us.
Yeah, this was a great episode. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, and we look forward to seeing you for the next Dynamite.
You bet. All right. Good night.
Dead air.
Thank you for listening to WWND, Wrestling with Neurodivergence, a Podcast Ahoy production. The producers of WWND are Lisa Rudd, Amanda Putnam, and Gary Putnam. Recording is done by Gary Putnam. Editing is done by Lisa Rudd. Check out our social media for updates on upcoming pods and for clips and other media referenced in this episode. Links and information can be found in the episode notes. Thanks again from everyone at the WWND family.